What's up, everybody? We are live, man. We got a really good card this Saturday. We don't have UFC, I think, for 2 weeks after this. We got Dan Hooker versus Justinm Poirier. What a great card. I got two special guests on here. Before I shout you guys out, I'm going to do something that might be stupid, but I'm going to do it anyways. I just want to say I'm sorry. I know if you're watching this, I fucked up. I learned from my mistakes. I'll never do that again. And it is what it is. Hold on, I think my StreamYard froze, but I just want to say I'm sorry, and I'm never gonna do that shit again. I was an idiot. Okay, I don't want to talk about that anymore. I don't want anyone in the chat asking me what I did because I'm not gonna ask you guys, tell you guys what. Kelton, what's up? Z, what's up?
What's up, man? Pumped to be here. Great card. I got 4 underdog bets. I'm ready to talk with you guys. Ready to debate with you guys. I'm fucking pumped, man. What's up, Z?
Yeah, me too, guys. Should be a good time. Fun little sneaky good card we got here. And don't worry, Justin, I forgive you.
Shut up. No, what happened was, dude, I guess halfway through I said that, my fucking StreamYard paused or something like that. So I couldn't even listen to what I said. But anyways, let's talk about last card real quick. What a really good card we had. The main event, Blade versus Volkov. You guys want to say anything about that?
Yeah, I think it was pretty obvious Blades was going to roll, but it's kind of interesting how Volkov got his chance. He did have him rocked. It's just you cannot, a puncher's chance is not good enough versus Blades, right? Because he's taken shots from the biggest hitters in heavyweight history. So it was just interesting to see the fight play out and that puncher's chance kind of come to fruition, but still not be enough. It was a good fight.
Yeah, it was a good fight. I thought the 48-47 scorecards were a little ridiculous, but I mean, hey, at least they didn't try to rob the guy. Good performance by Blades. Pretty shaky cardio, but Volkov's no slouch. He's gonna make you work. So you can't really blame for Curtis Blades gassing, and even then, you can argue he still won all 5 rounds. So good performance by him.
Yeah, next up we had Emmett versus Burgos. Probably the best fight of the year. Definitely one of the best fights of all time, in my opinion. Great fight. Burgos won the second round. Emmett won the first, third round. I do think Emmett got a 10-8. I do think that Emmett won the fight. A lot of people said Burgos won. It was a close fight. Thanks to Emmett. I had a winning night because of him. I snapped my losing streak. So I want to say thanks, Josh Emmett. And Burgos will be back. Burgos is a good fighter. He just needs to work on that defense. What do you guys think about that fight?
Dude, I'm just I can't believe that performance from Josh Emmett. He showed so much heart, so much determination. The fact that he fought through such a serious injury as well. Now, watching it live initially, I thought it could have been scored all over the place. I thought you could have argued 29-28 Burgos, 29-28 Emmett, or even 29-27 Emmett, or even a draw, if you really wanted to. But when I rewatched it, clearly gave Josh Emmett round 1, clearly gave Burgos round 2. And then round 3 was kind of iffy whether or not it's a 10-8 or a 10-9. Either way, Josh Emmett won 2 rounds. Brilliant performance, man.
Yeah, that overhand right that Emmett landed in the third, I screamed so loud for that one. I react to big shots. I don't know if you guys do, but I just can't help it. And I was so loud. It was crazy though, right? No one expected, or very few people expected Emmett to actually win over the course of 3 rounds, but he really showed how good he really is, to hang in there, to strike, to outstrike Burgos the way he did was really impressive. And I felt like Burgos was on the right track early because it seemed to be he was just letting stuff come his way and he was absorbing all of it in hopes that Emmett would kind of tire out and he could take over. But Emmett never tired out, so he kind of just gave away the first round and it cost him in this spot. But I don't think it was a terrible game plan, what he was trying to do.
Yeah, man, it was a good fight, dude. So next fight, Rocky versus Renault. We don't really talk about this fight that much. It was kind of a lackluster fight. Rocky won. What do you guys think about it?
Next.
I thought it was going to be more of a scrap, but Rocky did a great job getting the fight into the clinch where she had the highest percentage to win. But I took a big hit on this one, boys. I had Renault and I had the under. I thought it was going to be more of a scrap. I think it was playing out that way when the fight was being contested at range. But just a couple of bad bets on my part, especially the Renault side. I definitely regret taking her.
Yeah, man, me and Kelton had a bad bet too. We'll talk about that later. Next fight, Bilal versus Lyman Good. Good fight. I do think Bilal won. Got sketchy in that third round, but dude, Bilal's tough, dude. Bilal, his chin's good. A lot of people think that he's chinny, man, because that Luque fight. I think Bilal has a good chin. I think he he just went out there and beat a good fighter in Lyman Good. Good looked good. I mean, Bilal just is the better fighter, and I'm excited to see where Bilal goes from here. Maybe he gets a top 15 guy. Maybe he actually gets Neil Magny. I mean, I think that'd be a good fight. What do you guys think about the fight?
Man, that was my biggest bet of the night. I had 4.2 units on Bilal at -140 to cash 3. Really happy with the way that played out, man. Like, of course, sweating my ass off in that third round. Like, big props to Lyman for, fighting like he needed to get the finish there. Probably knew he was down 2 rounds. Saw a lot of people scoring that fight. Like, the first couple of rounds for Lyman Good on Twitter. I was like, what the fuck are you guys watching? I thought Bilal clearly edged him. The fact that he didn't even really need to wrestle until later in the fight either. Like, he was outstriking Lyman Good, and that just shows, like, the guy is so technical. He has such good fight IQ. Like, Bilal has pretty much almost everything you look for in a fighter. Like, I just feel maybe he lacks some things. Like, I wish he had a little more athleticism, explosiveness to him. But, I mean, solid guy. I mean, I'd probably pick him against anybody outside the top 15. Maybe there's some bad matchups for him here and there, but, like, man, he's such a beast. True professional, too.
Yeah, Kelton, you said it all. Like, he's very, very admirable. I thought the fight would play out kind of opposite, where Lyman would hurt him early, but then Bilal would get the fight to the ground late, and it didn't play out that way, right? Like, Bilal was able to stick on the outside, just outstrike him for 2 rounds. I didn't think Good won either of the first 2 rounds, but Good did keep him honest. He chin checked him in the 3rd round and almost cashed my under, but again, a losing bet on that fight for me. I had a really bad night.
Yeah, man, it wasn't an easy night. Next fight, Jim Miller versus Roosevelt Roberts. Got to give a shout out to BK Brandon. He was on Jim Miller. Sometimes he can be a douche, but good shit to BK for getting that pick right. I'm sure you bet on him too. I didn't see that coming. I thought Roberts was going to go out there and get a quick win, but Jim showed that. The guy still has it, and he's a Hall of Famer. And Mickey Gall's going to go out there and get a win for him as well, because they're training partners. What do you guys think about this fight?
Man, this fight was just like a pure example of just like variance in MMA, because like pretty much, I mean, everyone would say before that fight, Jim Miller's probably got to win this fight via submission in round 1, or else he's probably going to slow down like he usually does. Roosevelt will start to take over, and what do you know, Jim Miller, the crafty vet he is, he was able to get it to the mat pretty much right away. Locked up a sub. I mean, what a legend, man. Jim Miller is such a fucking legend. It's scary to fade that guy, man. Even if you're betting on really good prospects like Roosevelt Roberts. I mean, even that size difference, the athleticism, like Roosevelt's a super good prospect, and I still think really highly of him. Jim Miller can go out there and do that to a lot of guys if given the right night. So, I mean, I'm not lowering Roosevelt's stock by any. I'm just really impressed by the way Jim Miller performed, honestly.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it. I mean, like you said, the round 1 sub was kind of just Miller's win condition, and it's what came to fruition. So, yeah, you're right. Miller's a legend. Most fights in the UFC, tied with Cerrone, I think, right now. And yeah, still putting up wins, still finishing guys, still finishing good guys. Like, you're right. He's a legend.
I mean, after that Holtzman fight, I just thought that he was slowing down because, Holtzman, he clearly won that fight. I think Miller could have won one of the rounds. But, yeah, man, I mean, he has it. Roberts, he slipped, but still, I mean, Jim Miller took capitalize on that. Okay, so next fight, let's see. We had Bobby Greene versus Clay Guida. Not much to say. I mean, Bobby Greene went out there and looked good, dominated the fight. That was pretty emotional what he was talking about after the fight as well. But, I mean, I like Bobby Greene. And, I'm excited that he got the win because he's on a losing streak. And I thought he won, against Jakar Close and against Ronaldo. What do you guys think about that fight?
So I took a 1-unit shot on Bobby Greene to win the fight by submission at like plus 500 something odds there. And man, like I feel like he was using the guillotines to like stop the takedowns, but like he never really committed himself. He never really committed to any of them. I think he threatened with a Kimura for like maybe 3 seconds. Betting on a fighter like Bobby Greene who likes to fuck around in the octagon, he doesn't really take it completely serious. Like he just has fun in there. To bet him to win by a specific method on my part, that was probably pretty bad. But like, man, I just felt like if he actually tried to do it, I feel like he could have. But either way, I guess a solid performance. I don't know how far he can go in the division. Like if you look at his record, like it's really bad lately, but like close fights against Jakar Close, he arguably could have won that fight. Trinaldo could have won that fight. He's just like a pure example of a guy who fights to the level of his competition. Like, it's going to be really hard to cap Bobby Greene fights going forward just because, like, he always fights close no matter what the competition. So, I don't know. It was a weird fight.
Yeah, certainly a weird fight. I was sorry about your bet there, Kelton. There were a couple chances there that it could have happened. I was on the under, so I was hoping for a guillotine off the takedowns as well. Or I was thinking that those knees could have gotten it done too, because Greene was landing some good knees in the clinch at one point. But yeah, I mean, it was a fun scrap.
Yeah, man. Next fight, we had Tisha Torres versus Van Buren. I mean, yeah, that's the fight that I didn't see coming, man. I thought Van Buren was going to go out there and dominate her. I was wrong. Good thing I didn't bet her. I thought about parlaying her with Robertson, and they both would have lost. Torres showed, Torres didn't look like legit out there. She just showed that, she was the better fighter. And, I mean, Van Buren looked good early, but just gas. I mean, what do you guys think about that fight?
Go ahead, Z.
Oh, yeah, I had a good read on this one, but I didn't pull the trigger. And that's like part of a bad night is the good spots that you pass. You know what I mean? And I got to say, like, at the very least, at least I knew not to be on the Van Buren side, because I was thinking, like, if you're saying she's likely to win, you can't push that past 60% given the experience difference in the competition level. So I felt like I was on the right track. But again, I got to get better at pulling the trigger in the right spots, you know?
Yeah, I actually haven't seen this fight yet.
Oh, no?
Oh,
it was pretty good. Like,
I was working, so I missed a couple. I think I just got this. Yeah, I think this is the only fight left I have to watch. So.
Basically, Van Buren just couldn't muscle her down. Like, she was, when they tied up, the physicality of Torres was evident, and then Torres kind of just took over on the feet. And it was really nice to see Tisha finally be able to use like an outside striking game, because that's like her style, but she's always the smaller fighter. So it was cool to see her being the larger fighter in there. Yeah,
there were two fights that the dog won, and I passed. So I'm pretty pissed about that. One of them's up next. Next fight we had Barryu versus Pahota. Oh my god, I'm so pissed, man. I picked Barryu. I didn't bet him. Congrats to Z. I know he bet Barryu. Z, what do you think about that fight?
Yeah, I mean, it was bang on as far as my prediction. Like, I called it. I thought he'd just pressure him to the fence, gas him out. Like, Oscar, when you get a fighter like that who consistently, routinely has 7 minutes in the tank and then falls apart, you only need to survive that early threat. So I figured Barryu could do it. And I'm not really one for, boasting, but yeah, there was I'll pat myself on the back for that one. I was spot on.
I'm with you, Justin. I picked friggin' Barryu on the show too, and I passed. But like, by the time I was really sold on him, he was like minus 110. I'm like, do I really want to pay minus money for Barryu? Well, hey, it turned out in this spot, he looked like he looked like he should have been a giant favorite. And it's crazy because like pre-tape, before looking into the fight, like immediately it jumped out at me on Oscar's side. I'm like, yo, Oscar's going to be able to come in here and take this guy down and tap him out right away. And then when you actually look into it, like it's not going to be like that at all, man. Like, if he doesn't get Barryu out of there in the first round, Barryu is going to light him up against the fence. And that's pretty much exactly what happened. So yeah, props to you, Z. He did save my night on DraftKings though. Like, he was 7,600 on DraftKings for being a slight favorite by the time it closed. So yeah, thank you, Barryu, for picking up those points.
Yeah, man. Next fight. I don't want to talk about this. I know you don't either. We had Courtney Casey versus Robertson. Bad bet for me. Congrats to everyone out there that bet on Robertson. I actually bet on Robertson every fight besides this fight, and I faded her. Terrible bet. Casey looked like a fucking idiot. I'm never gonna touch her again. I don't care if she's fighting fucking Hannah Cyphers. I'm not doing it. What do you guys think?
Dude, Courtney Casey, she's another fighter that's like really hard to cap her fights, man. You just don't really know what the fuck you're gonna get. The only thing you know that you're going to get in a Courtney Casey fight is that she's going to get taken down. And unfortunately, she got taken down a few times here, wasn't able to really do anything with it. I picked Courtney Casey by sub, and Jillian Robertson was the one who got a sub. So props to her. I don't know. I guess I kind of just looked way too much into how bad her striking is. I still think Jillian needs a lot of work on the feet, but like, I mean, it didn't really stay there anyway, so it didn't really matter. And the fact that she's no longer at ATT, I don't know. I feel like I probably just looked into the wrong things here in this spot and didn't really think about how Jillian's game is to wrestle in, sub hunt, stay on top, and Courtney Casey's game is to get fucking taken down every fight. So yeah, that was a bad bet.
Danny Legs actually gave out Jillian Robertson as a bet on my podcast, so props to him for hitting that. And she actually came on their Club and Sub podcast, so that was pretty cool. You got to get some fighters that you bet on coming on this one, Justin, after a good win.
Oh yeah, I'm down for that, dude. That'd be cool. Yeah, good shit. I mean, a lot of people were on Casey, so congrats. Also, congrats to Clint. I know Clint was on Robertson as well. Next fight, Justin James versus Frank Camacho. Got to give a shout out to my old co-host Ricky
Jitsu,
because he went out there. Bet. He told me to bet him, and I didn't tape it. I didn't tape James. I just didn't have time to do it.
Dude, let me stop you right there, Justin. If you had taped James, you would never have made that prediction. Like he looked like a compact like wrestler. Like I was thinking if he could get his hands on Camacho, he can make it interesting. The line's probably wide. I don't want to keep the bookie honest with a short notice debutant with a size disadvantage. But man, sorry to take over, but like he just came out and steamrolled. Like he just put all like cards down on the table, like just let him fly. That was crazy to see.
I mean, Camacho might get cut after that. If not, they should give. Hey, they should give Camacho straight up. They should give him that dude that fought D-Rod, because that dude would fucking kill Camacho. I forget what his name again. The dude that fought D-Rod. No, the dude that fought him on short notice.
Oh yeah, Gabriel Greene.
That's who they should give him, because dude, that dude would kill Camacho. Kel, what do you think about this fight?
Man, so you mentioned how Ricky cashed on that spot, man. I'm the one who freaking told him about that spot. So I looked into the fight right away. I'm like, yo, Ricky, this guy has like a good grappling background. He's been the coach at Extreme Couture for many, many years. Very experienced guy. We know if Camacho has a weakness in his game, it's the wrestling. So I'm like hyping this up to Ricky. I'm like, Ricky, we should bet this, bro. And then I saw weigh-ins. I'm like, oh, he doesn't look to be in like the same kind of shape he was in for his last fight. Because if you look at his last fight right before the UFC, dude was fucking yoked, man. But he didn't look quite as jacked this time. I'm like, I don't know. He's not in the best shape. I don't know if he can put on like a wrestling game plan for 15 minutes without getting caught. I mean, he knocks the guy out in a minute. I feel like an idiot. Congrats to Ricky, though. He had the balls to do it.
Yeah, man, that was a really good bet. I mean, damn. I mean, it sucks, but it's what it is. You got to move on. Next fight. This is the fight that I'm pissed about. We have Lauren Murphy versus Roxanne. I picked Murphy. I told myself all week I was going to do it, and I didn't. I listened to Guru, Prediction Guru, and I mean, it sucks, man. He was really high on her, and I mean, Guru's a sharp better for sure. But that's why in this game you got to go with your gut, dude. You can't listen to other people, and I'm pissed, man. Murphy went out there and looked good, dude. And, it is what it is. Roxy's she's just not that good, dude. She's overrated. What do you guys think?
I think Roxy, like her eyesight's getting worse. Like she's always had been squinty and stuff, but it was really noticeable in that fight. Like, people I was watching the fight with were like, why is she squinting like that so much? And yeah, so this was just a dumpster fire fight for me. I didn't want any part of it, so I can't sit here and say I wished I'd bet Lauren Murphy.
Yeah, this is the other fight I haven't seen yet, actually.
Oh my god, dude! Jesus,
Murphy rocks her. She rocks her. I was like,
Murphy took her down. Murphy took her down too, which I was surprised about. I thought Roxanne would have the better wrestling, but it turns out that wasn't the case. Dude, Murphy's improved, man. Like I told you, dude, she's improved, dude, like a lot. She used to be a fucking jobber.
Now that I'm thinking about it, it's kind of like if Murphy beat, even if it's super controversial, she beat Andrea Lee. Like, so why was she the dog to Roxanne Modafferi? It's like, well, Roxy is totally hindsight from me. Total hindsight from me. I wasn't tempted by the fight at all, but yeah, like Lauren won solidly.
Roxy beat her as well. She beat KGB a long time ago, though.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, but last fight, I'm sure we're all going to want to talk about this one. We had Austin Hubbard versus Roachkov. Man, I picked Hubbard before, and then I changed my pick, but I did say he was live, and I mean, dude, honestly, I know a lot of people are going to shit on Hubbard, but low key, I don't think he's that bad. I don't think he's a jobber. I actually think the guy's been making improvements, and I think he's a pretty decent fighter. Like I think he's going to be in the middle of the pack. Good cardio, dude. His striking's good. I mean, that takedown defense. Yeah, man. I mean, I like Hubbard going forward. I mean, he looked like trash when he fought Prepolo, but yeah, dude, he's improving. Roachkov, man, it sucks what it is, but I just don't think he's UFC material, man. I mean, if they give him, like, I was thinking, who should they give him in his next fight? Like John Gunther? Like, I don't know, dude, who I'd gotten that fight, but what do you guys think? Hey, I'll say this real quick. Gunther's not a quitter. I don't care what anyone says. He's not a good fighter. No. He's not a good fighter, but the dude is not a quitter. Roachkov quit, dude. Roachkov quit. So, what do you guys think about that fight?
I'm kind of like torn. Like, of course, like the big convo on Twitter has been like, I've seen a lot of criticism on Robert Drysdale. I guess what I want to get to, like, I don't know if I necessarily agree with the criticism on him. Like, his job is to help the fighter win, and if he feels like pumping him up, trying to get him to fight, like get some heart and spirit back into him, like that's his job there. And I know Max is telling him to call it, he doesn't want to fight, but I kind of feel like that's almost like the ref's job to stop the fight at that point. Like if Max really wanted the fight to be stopped, he could have just told the ref, hey, I don't want to fight. And that could have been the ref's job to do. I don't think of Robert Drysdale any less for how he, handled the situation. I thought he was just trying to get his fighter to, get back into it, like spiritually and, go out there and get the W. So I don't get the hate on Robert Drysdale. As far as Max, like he took the fight on 4 days notice. I know it's never a good look to quit on the stool like that, basically, but for a 5-0 kid, I don't want to completely write him off. Like he's so inexperienced in the sport of MMA. He probably knew he was done. Like I don't know. I don't get the shitting on Max and Robert Drysdale here. I don't at all.
It's interesting, right? Like it's normally the other way around where the fighter wants to keep going, but like the corner should stop the fight, So like when the fighter actually wants out, yeah, I'm a little torn too. It's not a good look though, in my opinion, but you had a good point there, Kelton, where the fighter can always just tell the ref, look, I'm not coming out. And then the ref's going to stop the fight, right? You can tap out at any point in the contest. But I would just compare it to when Raquel rather was fighting Amanda Nunes and she said she's done. And then the corner sent her out in the 5th round and she got finished. So that was a bad look. You know what I mean? Like people did not like the corner for doing that. Like the fighter wanted out, they should have got out, but Raquel could have told the ref too and tapped out. So I'm a little torn. I don't know how I feel about it, honestly.
I want to say one more thing before we go live. So I saw Misha Serkinov today in my gym. I should have went up to him. I know it was him, but because he was with his wife too. I didn't talk to him. I just wasn't in the best mood. But so Serkinov goes to my gym. So if I see him again at LIVAC, I'm gonna go up to him because he's fucking shredded and he looks like a nice guy. So and he's Canadian. I think I'm gonna go talk to him next time, see if I can get a picture with him. We'll see if he wants to. But anything you guys want to say before we go live?
No, let's do it.
All right, thanks for everyone in the chat. I think we got 56 people. Thanks, everybody. First fight of the night, we got Kay Hansen versus Jin Yu. Was it Frey?
Frey.
And I'm going to let Kelton go first because I believe he has a huge bet on this fight.
Oh, I don't know if it's a huge bet. It's just my standard average bet, 3 units. But, man, when I first saw this fight got announced, like, immediately I'm like, oh, dude, Jin Yu Frey all the way here for sure. And then I watched tape. And I still got her, man. Like, I'm not quite as confident because I have seen her, taken down. Kay Hansen's game. She's a wrestler. She's a grappler. She's going to want to take Frey down here. And I have seen her taken down in the past. You can look at Ayaka Hamasaki. Was that like 2 or 3 fights ago? She's able to hold her down basically the entire 3rd round. But then I look on the opponent's side, Kay Hansen. I just don't know how developed this girl is, man. She's only 20 years old. She has not fought nearly the level of competition Jin Yu Frey has, in my opinion. Like, when we're talking about her losses, Ayaka Hamasaki, like, that's a real high-level girl. I mean, you can look at the atom weight rankings, and Ayaka Hamasaki and Jin Yu Frey are both ranked inside that top 3. I know it's a shallow weight class, but, like, that's a high level, man, like, for sure. And a lot of people are going to bring up the size for sure. And that's Kay Hansen's 3 biggest advantages here is the wrestling, the grappling, and the size. But, like, I don't know how much of a difference the size is going to be. I think they're the same height. Jin Yu Frey, if you look at her, like, she's jacked, man. Like, I don't know if it's going to be, like, real much of a problem, her fighting at 115. In that, another thing I thought of, man, like, who was the last Invicta atomweight champion to come into the UFC at the 115-pound weight class, make that jump up? That was Michelle Watterson, and she did just fine too, man. And I mean, shit, Jin Yu Frey has beat girls that Michelle Watterson has lost to. I mean, this is just the level that of competition that we're talking about. I just don't think Kay Hansen is. I mean, she really hasn't fought the level of those kind of girls. Seo Hee Ham, like Jin Yu Frey's last 2 losses. Okay, Seo Hee Ham in Korea, that's no tough task. That's no easy task at all. And then Ayaka Hamasaki in Japan. So those back-to-back losses against girls in their own countries. And not only that, you could argue Jin Frey won that last fight against Ayaka Hamasaki. I thought she outstruck her in the first 2 rounds, obviously, held down in the third. And then the thing is, I have seen Jin Frey work her way back up to the feet after getting taken down in the Mina Grusander fight. So I know she can get back up to her feet, and I think she is going to do that. I think Kay Hansen probably will end up getting 1 or 2 takedowns in this fight. But I think the experience of Jin Frey is going to come in big here. I think she's going to get back up, make her pay on the feet, because I do believe Jin Frey she's the better striker here, man, probably by a lot too. So I just feel like her experience is going to come through for her here. And plus 160 is the odds I got. I think that's atrocious. So let's see what happens, man.
Z, who do you got?
Yeah, if you're past plus 150 on the bet, Kelton, I don't hate it. This does feel very coin flippy to me, and my only concern with Frey is she looks like a really good striker in the pocket, like stationary, but she doesn't have a lot of feint and goes. She doesn't have an ability to close the gap. So I just see Hansen being on the outside and then timing her takedowns to get all the way in. Like, she's not going to hang out in that striking range. And I actually thought the fight versus Hamasaki was a big red flag because, I mean, 3rd round, she gets taken down and just blanketed the whole time. So when I looked into this, I felt like, you made a good point about Jin's physicality. Like, she looks like a strong woman, even at 105. So moving up, I don't think it's going to be a huge issue. And they do have a very similar frame. So I don't know about if the size of Kay is going to be a big factor, but I do think the youth and just being a much younger, fresher fighter with an ability to take Jin out of her element, I think that's a bad look. So I'm staying away. But honestly, I don't really hate it at better than plus 150. Like, in my opinion, you can just take a coin flip for those odds. So fair play to you. I hope you cash. I have no money involved in this fight at all. But yeah, that's the way I saw it. A pretty simple striker versus grappler, and just again, Jin's inability to like feint and go or close the gap, I think will be a big problem for her.
Yeah, man. I hope you can cash. I'm not gonna be playing this fight, but I gotta go with my SoCal girl, dude. This girl, trains out of Fullerton, SoCal. I like her grappling. She's 20, and I mean, I think she's improved every fight. Her last fight, I mean, she looked really good, dude. I know it's against girls that aren't on, Frey's, or was it Frey or Frey? Frey's level, and obviously Frey has more experience. But yeah, man, just that grappling, dude. Like, this is like a mini Aspen Ladd. I see this girl getting her down, and I know last fight Frey, stuffed every takedown against Cummings, but Cummings is not really a good fighter. And before that, dude, I mean, she got taken down, couldn't get up, and she's pulling stunts like that. I just think Hansen, the bigger girl, the better grappler, is going to be able to win maybe like 2 rounds or so. And I mean, she has a good ground game, but I will admit that Frey has a better striking. Hansen's striking is really not that good, but she's 20 years old, dude. This girl, I mean, last fight, I feel like she looked good, dude. So I'm going to go with Hansen. I'm going to go with the decision, but I hope you win because I'm not playing it, but I might play her on DraftKings.
And just 2 more things I want to mention about that fight. With a fighter so young, when you watch tape, you got to expect improvement. So even if you saw something on tape, it's kind of like sketchy to bet with such a young fighter. Plus, I want to say I miss Siohee Ham. I miss her walkouts, and the KO over Frey was actually a nasty one-hitter quitter. Like, that was sick.
You see the run she's on right now? She's on like a real nice win streak right now. That girl's no slouch.
I think, what is it here? Yeah, 4 KOs in her last 6 fights. Like, she's fun, man. She's a fun fighter.
Yeah, man. So next fight, we got it's a good fight. We got Jordan Griffin versus Yusuf Zalal. I'm gonna go with Z first. Z, who do you got?
Oh, you put me on the spot, but I like Zalal, and I like the earlier line a lot better, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I was very impressed. I was surprised and impressed with Zalal's debut. Again, a very young kid, so we can expect improvements, this and that. Really liked how he was using takedown attempts as feints for his strikes, or to set up his strikes. At one point, he went for a double leg, came up with the knee. And then when you look at Jordan Griffin, he's just a guy, like, he's very experienced. He's 30, so he's more in his prime. He's probably a bit stronger than Zalal. And he can probably submit Zalal if he gets a good position. But yeah, I think I'm going to go with the younger fighter here. I think we got something in Zalal. I just really liked his movement on the outside versus Lingo. And, people are shitting on Lingo now, but I think Lingo is okay, and that was his debut as well, right? So I don't know. I just don't think that Lingo is a terrible fighter, a punching bag like some people are saying. I think he's okay, and I think Zalal just showed up. So I like Zalal in this one.
I'm gonna let Kelton go next. Kelton, what do you got?
Yeah, man. So I mentioned I got 4 underdog plays on this card there. I just realized they're the first 4 fights of the night. So it's going to be a fucking early sweat for me on Saturday. Yeah, I got
Dogs on the undercard.
yeah, man. Yusuf Zalal, I got that early line that Z mentioned. I got plus 115 for 3 units. I like that performance last time. I'm glad Z gave Austin Lingo some respect because I think I've seen everybody shit on him in their breakdown. Like, oh, he beat a complete bum in his UFC debut. I mean, Lingo was looking pretty damn good before that fight. I think he just ran into a very improving, serious Yusuf Zalal. I like this kid on the feet. He landed 6 takedowns in that fight against Austin Lingo. I mean, you look at Jordan Griffin. I mean, watching tape on Jordan Griffin, I must have seen him get taken down, like fucking 20, 25 times. He got taken down 7 times in his last fight. He has a 35% takedown defense. So, dude, I think Yusuf Zalal, he's got the reach advantage on the feet too. Like, he's real sharp on the feet. I think Jordan Griffin probably like hits harder, if anything. He mentioned he's probably a little stronger. I'm kind of worried if Zalal does decide to take the wrestling route that Jordan Griffin can catch him with something sneaky on the mat. He is a pretty good BJJ grappler, but overall, man, I like Zalal here, man. For the dog odds, I got him. Like, I'm comfortable if this fight's on the feet. I feel like he can, land the better and more volume on Jordan Griffin. And then on the mat, I feel like he can wrestle him, steal some rounds with some takedowns, maybe, possibly. So give me the dog odds all day. I like this kid, Yusuf Zalal. I think he starts his UFC career 2-0.
Well, looks like I'm going against you guys. I got Jordan Griffin. I'm not betting it, though. I'm not that confident. But, yeah, I think he's going to get the job done, man. Zalal, I will say, he looked good in his UFC debut, but I'm going to go against you guys. I don't think Lingo's done anything. I think Lingo had a lot of hype, and he looked like dog shit against Zalal. Zalal really hasn't fought anybody, in my opinion, either. He just lost 2 times in 2019. Jordan Griffin's going out there and winning a round against Dan Ige. I don't think Zalal would ever do that. Also, the Chad Skelly fight, I mean, he was looking good on the feet, but, Skelly kept taking him down. Obviously, Zalal has a better wrestling. He has good wrestling. He has good cardio. Both these guys have good cardio. Good movement, good kicks from Zalal, but I do think that Griffin has the better boxing. I think Griffin has a good straight left, too. A lot of people are counting him out here. I don't see it, man. I mean, I think Griffin's no slouch, dude. He can get taken down, but even if he gets taken down, I mean, the kid's ground game, dude, is legit, dude. That submission he pulled off TJ Brown was no joke, dude. So, and I feel like he's bigger and he's stronger too, man. So go ahead.
But he's getting dominated before that submission. Like, he is sneaky with it, but when you watch tape on Griffin, like, he's losing the majority of the time in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but against guys like Dan Ige, who I feel like is one of the best grapplers in the division, TJ Brown's a good wrestler, dude. I mean, Zalal has good grappling, but I mean, he did it against Lingo, dude. I don't know if he can do it against a guy like Griffin, dude, who's gonna be scrambling. Like, I feel like Griffin can scramble and get on top. Like, I mean, I get the dog money on Zalal, but I just don't think that Griffin should be the underdog, dude. So I'm gonna go with Griffin with a submission, but I'm not confident in it.
Why aren't you betting it?
Because I already have 3 bets, and those 3 bets I'm more confident in, than Griffin.
Okay.
So I'm going tight this card.
I don't want you coming on the recap blaming us for Kyle or Z and Kelton were, they talked me out of it.
No, I mean, I get the plans as well, but yeah, I got Griffin. I like going with underdogs as well, so I got Griffin. Next fight, we got Takashi Sato versus Ramiz Brahimaj. Right? Did I say that right?
Brahimaj.
I'll go with this one first. So, I have 2 units on the underdog at plus 135. Razim, I think this kid, I think he has talent. A lot of people are thinking this guy sucks and all this stuff. I mean, he hasn't fought in a long time. He's obviously going to be improving and really training a really good camp. I like his grappling. I mean, he has really good credentials on the mat. Just watching tape on Sato, I don't think he's the best fighter. I do think he has a striking advantage, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if Brahimaj went out there and hurt him on the feet. I mean, this guy's been dropped by fucking jobbers like fucking, what's his name, that Kiwi, was it Max something? And that guy took him down too. That guy's not good, dude. If a guy like that can go out there and take down Sato, I think a guy like Brahimaj, once he gets you on top, dude, this guy's ground game is legit, dude. I mean, most is won by submission. I do get though that he's a little green, but I just don't think Sato's that good, dude. I mean, yeah, 15-3, but who the hell is Sato even beating as well, dude? I mean, Ben Saunders beat him in the first round, dude. I don't think Ben Saunders would fucking win any of the fight versus fucking Brahimaj. So I'm gonna go with Brahimaj. I think he's gonna take him down, really good double leg. And I do believe that he's going to get that finish, man. Sato's been tapped out twice, and Sato's been knocked out. And I think Brahimaj has a good right hand. I think he can drop him as well, man. Sato's just kind of low output, dude. I mean, he has a good straight left. Like, he is the better striker, but I mean, I feel like Brahimaj is going to go out there and, you know, take him down and get a submission. So I'll go with Brahimaj by sub. Z, who do you got?
Yeah, Brahimah, I was not familiar with him at all before looking into this card, and so I did the tape study on him live, which was a lot of fun. Shout out to anyone who was on that stream. But his cardio, man, is such a huge red flag that if he doesn't get that early finish, yes, he's super durable and he fights through stuff and he has a great get up game. So he still fights hard when he's tired, but he tires fast, you know, like at the end of the first round, he's done. At least he has been in historically, right, in tape. So I'm a little worried about that because say what you want about Sato, but he does have 3 rounds of gas in the tank and he's a tricky southpaw. He operates at a further distance on the feet. So I could see a tired Ramiz kind of getting outpointed over the last 2 rounds, but Sato's, habit of giving his back when someone clinches up with him against the fence is a huge problem here because Ramiz, like in the first round, he's strong and serious submission. So I do get the play. I get it. Again, you guys are closer to the plus 150 mark. For me, I would need plus 150 because I can't really lean with a guy who only has a round of gas in the tank. But there is a sneaky play I'm thinking about making. It would be out of character. But Ramiz to win in round 1 is like 5-1 odds on some books. And that to me is like, because I think I can give him a 50% chance to get the first round sub, right? Like, or a 50% chance to win the fight. And half of that, he probably gets a first round sub, you know what I mean? So that to me, there's a good little edge on that prop bet. And I might pull the trigger or I might regret passing on it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with Justin, man. I'm with Justin. I got Ramiz. I got him at plus 145 odds, 3 units as well. I mean, I like what I've seen with this kid on tape. His submission skills. Like, he's definitely a legit grappler. I think he's like a no-gi IBJJJF champ out there too. Like, the guy's out there in tournaments. Justin mentioned he hasn't fought in a while. He actually he had a tumor in his I don't know if it was exactly in his brain or in his head, but like he had to take some time off, get that figured out. He did mention he wasn't able to do any striking for like a long period of time, I think like 6 or 8 months, but he did say he was on the mats every single day, improving his grappling game. I know his grappling has probably even gotten better at this point. I mean, that's all the guy was able to do for like a good year, man, is just grapple because of what was going on with him. I think his grappling skills are, not elite, but definitely good enough to get Sato down here and probably choke him out. Z mentioned the gas, man. He definitely does slow down after round 1. There's no doubt about that. But like, if you look at some more recent fights, like 3 fights ago, he got a submission in the second round, and even both his decision losses, like he was competitive in the third rounds. Yeah, no, for sure. But props to him. He got the win. But like, the thing is, what I see here, if the fight happens to hit the second round, Justin mentioned it, Sato is a low volume guy. And Ramiz, even when he is slowed down, he still throws, man. So like, I can see a situation where Ramiz is slowed down here and he's still the guy throwing out more volume. He's got a good shin too. Like, that's not to say Sato can't knock him out, but like, I've seen the guy take some big shots, like Justin Patterson, that fight. He got Ramiz like perfect shot right in the temple, had Ramiz hurt for a couple seconds, but like literally 2 seconds later, he was deep on a double leg. So like, good instinct, good recoverability. I would be very surprised if he got knocked out here. And like I said, even if it goes past the first round, so let's say it goes past the first round, I'd say likelihood Ramiz probably won that first round. So we got money in the bank already. We just need to out-volume Sato in rounds 2 or 3. But hey, that being said, man, I think Ramiz gets him down, takes his back, rear naked choke first round. So plus 145 odds against a guy in Sato. Granted, he's making improvements. He actually comes out of a good gym. He trains with, I believe he trains with Henry Hooft and those guys down in Florida, getting good work with them. And Brahimaj as well, man. He's training at Fortis. I know he just got work in with Jeff Neal and Bilal Muhammad, those guys. So yeah, man, it's going to be a very fun fight. I'm glad I got plus 145 somewhere in this fight. It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, so next fight, man. Speaking of fun fights, we got actually it's a fun fight. It's a hard fight to call. We got Philip Wins versus Tanner Boser. I mean, I'll go first because I'm going to keep this really short. This is a hard fight, tough fight to call. I'm going to go with the Canadian, though. I think that he has good weight kicks. I think that he has more output. I can't trust Wins. I can't. I mean, after that stun he pulled against Arlovski, I don't care what anyone says. Arlovski's just not that good anymore. And you went out there and just stopped fighting. I mean, he looked good early. And yeah, he won the PFL tournament against that fucking idiot Josh Copeland. I fucking hate that guy. But in this matchup, I mean, dude, Boser, he's no slouch, dude. He's not bad, dude. I mean, he went 3 rounds with, Gone, and I like his weight kick. He's tough. I think he has good cardio. I like the body work he has. I know he beat that fucking jobber in Spitz, but yeah, man, I think this is a close fight, and I got to go with Boser. I think Boser's just going to go out there and win a clear-cut decision, just out volume, and I don't think Wins can get him down. I think Wins has to shoot, and I just don't think he has a grappling. So yeah, Z, who do you got?
Yeah, I like Boser too. I think this is going to be a pretty good scrap, though. Like, Boser's been going to decision a lot, and Linz went to decision his last fight. But the way these guys match up, I think they're going to be slinging leather. I think they like to exchange in the same range. And, like, Linz has a good ability to, like, take shots and then fire back. You know what I mean? Like, he answers in the pocket really well. So, yeah, I honestly see this just being a really good fight, really, like, well-contested, violent fight. It's interesting, too, that, like, so – Boser fought Spitz, who is 6'7", very tall guy. He fought Gall, who's taller than him, and Linz fought Arlovski, who's taller than him, right? So I feel like both guys had to kind of overcome that reach disadvantage, whereas here they're the same height. So again, I think they are going to exchange in the pocket a lot, and it should be fireworks.
Man, so I actually got a bet in this fight. This is the fourth and final for me. I took Felipe Linz plus 100, 3 units. I like him in this fight, man. I think he's getting way too much slack for that Andrei Arlovski fight. Like, I think there's like a big misconception on Andrei Arlovski because of the guy's record in like his last 14 fights. But like, the thing is, like, a lot of guys are having really close, like 50-50 fights with Andrei Arlovski. Like, look at Augusto Sakai, another really good prospect. That was like a 50-50 fight, in my opinion. Even the Walt Harris fight, that was close. He hasn't gotten knocked out that much recently. Like Rosenstrike, I'm looking, knocked him out, but like his last knockout before that was 3 years ago. Like, I don't think Andrei Arlovski is an easy fight whatsoever. You can even argue Felipe Linz won 2 rounds in that fight.
I thought he won.
Yeah, I mean, I had Felipe Linz in that fight. I thought he lost, but like it could have gone either way. He definitely did slow down here, and Boser actually does have pretty good volume for a heavyweight. So like, volume is my number one concern here, no doubt, but I just feel like Felipe, he's just the sharper striker in my opinion. I feel like his punches will have more pop behind them as well. I feel like, he's got more power. He might even be able to hurt Boser. You mentioned the Gall fight. He survived there. That's pretty impressive, but like, I've seen this dude rocked in the regional scene. I actually saw him get knocked out in 6 seconds as well. So like, I'm not going to completely rule out a Felipe Linz KO here, like at all, man. So, and I don't think he's gotten a takedown since like the Bellator days, but like, hey, I mean, it's possible. I mean, he might shoot here. You never know. And I think he could get it if he actually tries for it. So I just think overall I'm getting the better fighter at plus 100. So let's go, man. I'm going to go Felipe Linz, 29-28 unanimous decision.
So next fight, this is probably one of the best fights of the card. We got Bob Ross versus Kama Worthy. Z, who do you got?
Man, I was just watching tape on this one because it's not one that really jumped out at me. So I put it off. But Kama has really good hand position, like really good hand position. He keeps his right hand up so high. I just think the advantage on the ground for Pena is kind of the equalizer here, and it's the reason he's a big favorite. But if he plays around, I think Kama could keep him honest. As far as betting is concerned, again, not one that jumped out at me. I was leaning Pena pre-tape, so I'm still kind of like that's still the lean. You know what I mean? Again, because the grappling, the wrestling, and the jiu-jitsu and all that. But again, like if Pena plays around on the feet, he could be in trouble here because I think Kama is he's actually a decent striker.
Kelton, who you got?
Man, I've been going back. Like, Luis Pena is going to be my pick in this fight, but like I've been going back and forth on whether or not like Kama Worthy is live here or not. Like, I just built my DraftKings lineups as well, and like, man, like needing to fill spots for underdogs, 7,300 on DraftKings. If he does win, I think it's probably going to be a knockout. That's what he does. So like, I'm not going to pick him. I'm not even going to take the shot on him, but like punts for DraftKings, I feel like he can get points if he wins. But that being said, I think Luis Pena can mix it up here. Probably get some takedowns. He's the way longer, bigger guy. Like, dude, he's a fucking freak for one. Dude, that guy fought at 145 crazy, right? Too. Can you guys believe he made the cut to 45? Like, what the fuck? Crazy, man. And we'll be talking about another really huge guy that I have no idea how they make the weight class later in the card too. But yeah, I'll go with Pena, but like I wouldn't parlay him at those odds at all. I would just stay away from this fight, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a good fight. You know, I like Bob Ross as a fighter, but I faded him, man, twice. I faded him with Favola. I faded him with Trezano. Yes, they're both close fights, but I think they both won with the grappling. You know, Worthy doesn't have the grappling. I think guys that have good grappling are going to be able to beat Bob Ross. And, you know, Worthy had a good win against, my boy Devontae Smith, but I think that was a little controversial of a fight, dude. I mean, they were close friends, and you watch that fight, Devontae didn't look like shit out there, bro. I mean, Devontae is like one of those guys that pushes the pace. He throws that jab immediately. He just looked like he didn't want to be in there, man. So, I mean, I think people act like, you know, like, that was a really good win, but I mean, Worthy, I really feel like that if they rematched, it'd be easy money for Smith. Smith just didn't show up. Yeah, it was a good win. Worthy's on a 6-fight winning streak. He's improved at 155. I think a lot of those KO losses are at 45, like against Billy Q and some other guys. I know Felder knocked him out at 55. But yeah, Worthy is a good striker, and he's athletic. I mean, the guy has, you know, good leg kicks, good jab, good straight left. He's athletic. But then again, Bob Ross is good striking too. He has a good jab, but I think he has to get this fight to the mat, and I think he's going to. He has a good ground game. Ever since he moved to ATT, you watch his last fight. That was his first camp there. What do? He grappled the fuck out of fucking Garcia. I mean, I feel like he's going to be shooting pretty fast. And yeah, Bob Ross is a good ground game, dude. So I'm going to go with Bob Ross by submission. So next fight, we got Sean Woodson versus Julian Erosa. Damn, dude, this is oh my God. Kelton, who do you got in this fight?
Yeah, man, I just mentioned it. The really huge guy that I have no idea how they make the weight class. Sean Woodson, 145 pounds. What is he? 6'2", 6'3"? Like, wow. And it's so crazy watching this fight against Kyle Bochniak too. Like one of the shorter guys in the division as well. Wow, that was an epic beatdown in Sean Woodson's last fight. Like, what a great performance, man. Like, I could watch that shit all day long. But that being said, like, it's Kyle Bochniak, 5'7", not the greatest fight in the world. I'd have to look at his record, but I'm sure it's a losing UFC record. Honestly, like, it was going to be interesting if Sean Woodson was going to fight Kyle Nelson. Kyle Nelson is a guy, if y'all have been watching me for a long time, I bet on Kyle Nelson a few times in the UFC. Unfortunately, I didn't cash one time, and then I did cash the last time against Polo Reyes. I thought that would have been a fucking great fight, man. Kyle Nelson is all action. But now we got Julian Erosa. Man, this is a guy that's been cut from the UFC twice. He's actually had 10 fights in the octagon if you want to include the Ultimate Fighter and Contender Series. So this is definitely, I mean, this isn't your average, like, signing newcomer short notice replacement. Like, Julian Erosa has the UFC experience. That being said, the guy probably got cut twice for a reason. He's chinny. He's got holes in his game. I think Sean Woodson, and especially if Julian Erosa, like, isn't in his best shape here, like, he does come off as the kind of guy that's, you know, probably always in the gym. But still, man, to take this fight on such short notice against a serious prospect like Sean Woodson, I feel like Woodson's going to be able to use his reach, you know, start stunning Erosa on the feet, and I'll say he puts him away in the second round.
See, who do you got?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Woodson's a very interesting talent, you know, long boxing, amateur boxing record too, like tons of experience striking. And like Kelton said, he just has a very, very strange and enormous frame for the weight class. I haven't looked into it too much because it was made pretty recently, but yeah, I can't expect Julian Erosa on short notice to give him much trouble. But at the same time, it's the type of fight where Erosa could sneak something in, you know, he could sneak a high kick up and ding Woodson. I mean, Woodson was a big underdog when he was on the Contender Series. So it's funny how you see these guys on Contender Series as like a plus 250 dog, and then 2 fights later, they're a minus 500, right? Like, so for sure, don't touch that line. But yeah, I'm pretty high on Sean Woodson. I think he's a very special talent.
Yeah, I might get shit on for saying this right now, but I actually think that Woodson's going to be a top 5 guy. I mean, this kid is fucking good, dude. I really want to see him fight a grappler, but I mean, Bochniak has grappling, but not that good. I want to see Woodson fight legit, dude. Like maybe like give Bryce Mitchell like within a couple fights. But I mean, Woodson, dude, this kid's boxing, bro, is so good. I mean, he's like what 40-3 in his boxing AMI career. His jab is fucking beautiful to watch. I mean, the way he sets up those knees, dude. I mean, yeah, Rosa like has decent striking. He has good jiu-jitsu. But one thing he doesn't have, which you have to have in UFC, is a chin. I mean, the guy has a terrible chin. I think Woodson's going to put him away in like 30 seconds. I mean, I think it's going to be a first round KO easily, like fast. I mean, this kid Woodson, dude, training with Poirier, with James Krause. I mean, he's putting in work with Grant Dawson every day, dude. So I feel like it's going to be hard to take this guy down. Even heard him in his post-fight conference against Bochniak. I mean, people need to take this guy down and get the job done because on the feet, I mean, dude, his left hook, I mean, dude, his striking is legit, dude. I mean, I know he got taken down in Contender Series. I know Bochniak took him down, but he got right back up, and all he needs to do is improve that grappling. He's going to be a top 5 dude in the future. I see Z just left right now. It might be maybe technical difficulties, but yeah, man, I got Sean Woodson, dude. I think he would have fucking killed Kyle Nelson. So next fight, we got probably the worst fight of the night. We got the Ultimate Jobber Fest. We got Croquet boss Maurice Greene versus John Villante. Let me add Z back in here real quick. All right, Z, who do you got in the Scrub Fest?
Sorry, who? Which one are we on?
Oh, my bad. Croquet boss versus John Villante.
Oh my God! Of course. I mean, you're not gonna hear me picking John Villante to win a fight. With all due respect, you know what I mean. I'm sure he's a tremendous training partner, but yeah, I got to go with Maurice Greene. It's just like, do you want to, from a betting perspective, do you want to touch that? Like, not really. I mean, is money actually coming in on John Villante? No, not really. Yeah, this is an easy pass for me. If you got, yeah, just no interest in this dumpster fire, man. Honestly, like, I'll be honest with you, no interest in this. I think Maurice Greene ends him in the first round. You can use him in DraftKings maybe, but nah.
How many you got?
Yeah, if you got the early line on Maurice Greene, like better than -200, I don't hate that at all because I really do feel like this is probably an awesome fight for him here. He's got a light heavyweight moving up to heavyweight here. And you know what, man? I actually thought Maurice Greene was making some improvements from the the fucking, what's that stupid show
Contender
called?
Series.
No, Ultimate Fighter, yeah.
Oh.
When he was on the Ultimate Fighter. I thought he's made improvements since then. He's not smoking the cigarettes and drinking the booze anymore. He's definitely in better shape. I like hearing his interviews too, man. I think he has a really good mindset for the sport. Like, I think even though he lost his last 2 fights, I think this guy is making improvements. And, you know, you look at it, he got knocked out by Sergey Pavlovich, who's definitely like a legit heavyweight prospect. And then old man Alexei Olenek, man. I took Olenek in that spot just because I knew, like, if it hits the mat, it's going to be over. And of course, it was definitely sweaty as shit. But, you know, he was able to sub him. I just don't really see what John Villante is going to be able to do here other than like a random heavyweight KO, I guess. But, like, I don't know, man. He's just so slow these days. He doesn't have the best gas. Maurice doesn't either, to be fair. But I just feel like he's the bigger guy, hits harder, better athlete at this point. John Villante is definitely on like I don't want to say a downward spiral, but his career is definitely not headed in the right direction. To whereas I feel like Maurice Greene has like a few years of a UFC career ahead of him, whereas John Villante, I'm not going to say it's all over, but it's not looking good. So I definitely get the wide odds on Maurice Greene. I think he makes easy work here. I'll say first round knockout. He's probably a good DraftKings play. I mean, he's one of the cheaper favorites for being a -230. I mean, you can get him at cheaper odds than like Luis Pena. So like, yeah, I like Maurice for DraftKings.
Yeah, man. I got to go Crooked Boss here. Villante doesn't belong in the UFC. He's done. He's washed. I mean, you know, you can't say that Crooked Boss is on the decline, but one thing I want to say about the guy is he's tough. I mean, he's chinny, but he's tough. He's only been knocked out once, and I mean, the guy has a good jab, and he's way bigger. I feel he's just going to pick him apart on the feet. I don't think Villante can take him down. He has good submissions as well, but yeah, I got to go with Crooked Boss. It's going to be, you know, a short breakdown. I don't really want to talk about it. We got Crooked Boss. The next fight, this is probably, in my opinion, I know I might shock some people, but probably my favorite fight of the night. We got my boy Brendan Allen versus Kyle Daukaus. This is such a good fight, too, because, if you watch the tape on this kid, Kyle Daukaus, I think he's no slouch. I think this kid's going to win fights in the UFC. I do like what I've seen from him, but Brendan Allen is a top fucking 10, dude. I mean, Brendan Allen's going to be a top 5 guy. I don't care what anyone says. This kid is so fucking good. I love him, dude, so much. He's improved so much. He's not the same guy that fought Fluffy 2 years ago. I think it's a bad matchup for Daukaus, but I do think that Daukaus has a chance to get this job done. I don't looking at the line right now. Like, I think it's a little off. Like, I think Kyle is a good fighter. Like, I think Kyle can go out there and on the feet, I think Allen's better. I think Allen, we don't see his striking a lot on the feet, but I think he has a good jab. I think he has good pressure. He's a good right hand. I just think the reason why Allen's going to win this fight is because this kid has the better wrestling. I think he's going to get on top. You watch Kyle Daukaus' tape against Steven Regman, a fucking jobber. Who did he lost to? Some bum, not bum. He lost to someone that got a Contender Series. I forget who it was. But yeah, Regman fucking was getting his ass kicked, and then he got on he got on top and landed some big shots, and Daukaus was in trouble, bro. I was like, what the? He almost finished Daukaus. And if you watch Allen's fight against Tom Breeze, dude, that top control, bro, like, dude, those shots that he landed on Breeze to finish the fight were fucking legit, dude. I mean, I know Holland had him in some trouble, but Holland's a legit black belt. Holland's a legit fighter, dude. And Allen went out there and tapped him out in the second round. I don't care what anyone says. People are saying, oh, you took that fight out, or Holland took that fight on 1 day notice or a week notice. Dude, if they rematched, Allen would beat him again. I think Allen just too physical for this kid. I think Daukaus has a really good Darce choke. And Daukaus has long ass fucking wins, bro. So I mean, he could catch submission, but I don't see it, man. I think Allen's gonna go out there and handle business, and I think Allen's gonna go out there and get a first round submission. And I actually think that Allen's gonna be high-ish too. I don't like the line, but if minus 155 in the distance gets better, if he gets to like minus 125-ish, minus 130, I'm going to bet Allen in the distance because Allen's a finisher. I don't think he's going to win a decision. He goes out there and kill or be killed. He goes out there and just fucking goes in your face and tries to take you down, throws shots. And damn, man, I like Brendan Allen, dude. But Kyle Daukaus will be back. Kyle Daukaus is going to win fights in UFC. I mean, if they match up Daukaus with Barriu, I mean, dude, Daukaus would kill that dude, bro. So I got Brendan Allen. Z, who do you got?
Yeah, I just don't think it's a good look for Kyle Daukaus coming in here. You kind of touched on it with Allen just being more physical. And like, I think he's just stronger, faster. When I did the tape, like side by side, like Allen just, his hardware looks a lot better to me. And when you got a guy like Daukaus where his strength is Allen's strength, they're going to be going up head to head. I just don't think that's a good look. You're right. Maybe he could catch a sub, but in that fight, I believe it was the Norwood fight, he let that guy out of like 7 submissions. You know what I mean? He would put them on and get it. Like, so I just, as slippery as Brendan Allen is, I don't really think he's going to get subbed. I think this line is pretty accurate. Maybe I would reel it back to 70% indication instead of 75. So like closer to the minus 233 line, but still, like, I think it's a pretty accurate line with a heavy favorite in Brendan Allen.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think the line is pretty much accurate. I like Brendan Allen here. I just feel like he's probably just a little bit better than Kyle Daukaus, possibly everywhere, other than like the Darce choke specifically. Like Daukaus is nasty with that choke, man. Like Allen has definitely got to mind his P's and Q's to not get caught in that shit, because I mean, he has been subbed before, and that is Daukaus's path to victory, in my opinion, is to catch him with a sub on the mat. I will be interested to see how the striking plays out, though, because like I kind of feel like Brendan Allen might have the edge there, but then again, I won't be surprised if Kyle Daukaus is outstriking him. I just feel like it's kind of a wash on the feet, but I don't know how much of the fight is going to play out on the feet anyway. I feel like one, if not both guys, will definitely be shooting probably like right away. Brendan Allen, he's very aggressive. I like his style. He's kind of like he's a DraftKings dream for sure. Unfortunately, he's the most expensive fighter on DraftKings this week, so you definitely got to pay up for him. But yeah, I feel like he probably gets Kyle Daukaus out of there, hands him his first loss. It's just like, I don't know, man. Like, I've seen all the Contender Series fights, but I didn't really remember this kid. And usually when I don't remember somebody from Contender Series, it's like usually like a good reason. Like I wasn't really impressed. And even when I went back and watched it, like it was an all right performance, I guess. And then I go look through his record. All right, who's his best win? Oh, Jonathan Webb. I've seen that guy in the UFC before. Let's watch that fight. Like, yeah, he got the sub there. He choked him out right at the bell in the 3rd round, but like a little bit of a shaky fight, man. Like Jonathan Webb, and that's Jonathan Webb's a welterweight, by the way. Like he was bloated up for this fight fighting at middleweight. Jonathan Webb took his back, man. Like if he gives up his back to Brendan Allen here, like it's a wrap, dude. So I get the big line for sure. I'll go Brendan Allen's 2nd round submission.
Even Norwood in his last fight took his back. I mean, you can't take your back. You can't get your back taken a guy like a legit black belt in Brendan Allen.
Right.
So next fight, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to go first again. We got Mickey Gall versus Mike Perry. A lot of people are gonna be shitting me for this. Second play of the night, Mickey Gall, 2 units, plus 255. Yeah, man, it's Mike Perry dude's on the decline. I don't care what anyone says. That so many fucking red flags. You watch was it not even the interviews a couple weeks ago? You watched the interview today. Like, what the fuck is up with this dude, man? Like, yeah, I do admit that Mike Perry can 100% get knocked out here because, let's be honest, Perry is the better striker. Perry hits harder. Perry hits like a fucking truck. But, dude, this guy is just such a fucking fade, man. I mean, yeah, I'll say this. He improved, man, against fucking Luque. But his last 2 fights, oh, my God, dude. I mean, the damage this guy took, bro, like, dude, I think that you can tell it. And this guy just doesn't have it anymore, man. Mickey Gall hasn't fought in a long time. I don't care what anyone says. I know it was against fucking Salim, the jobber, but dude, Mickey Gall looked improved in that fight, dude. Mickey Gall showed a fucking jab in that fight. He showed good weight kicks, dude. He's tough, man. I mean, he won that fight. He definitely won that first and third round. In my opinion, Gall, he looked good in that fight. That was the best Gall I've ever seen. And against Diego Sanchez, I mean, come on, dude. He had kidney problems in that fight. Yeah, he looked early, but he gassed. They rematched to be all fucking Gall. I think people will be surprised here with Gall striking on the feet because I do think that he throws more volume than Mike Perry, but I do think he has to fight down on the mat. But I think he will, man. I mean, come on, dude. Perry's been taken down before. Who the fuck is Perry's best win? Is it Paul Felder? Because Paul Felder fucking broke his arm in the first round. So if you cancel that fight, who is it? Cowboy Oliveira? I don't care what anyone says, but Gall would beat Cowboy Oliveira. So I'm telling you, man, his line is so off, dude. I mean, Gall's improved, dude. And I'm not saying Gall's going to go out there and get a knockout. I mean, that would never happen. But, I mean, would I be surprised if Gall dropped him? No, I wouldn't. I mean, Gall has a good right hand. And, dude, Perry's done. He's washed up. I mean, dude, I still get it. I don't get all the love on Mike Perry. I mean, I can't believe I'm fucking picking and betting Mickey Gall. But, dude, this line is off, man. And Mickey Gall has the way better fucking ground game, dude. So I'm going to go with fucking Mickey Gall, man. With the submission, dude. I got Mickey fucking Mouse, dude, going out there fucking winning a fucking fight against Mike Perry and fucking shocking the world. And I hope everybody in my live stream right now fucking says that I'm a fucking idiot because I am an idiot. I mean, we already talked about that in the beginning of my podcast. But he's going to get the job done. Let's go, Mickey! All right, Kelton, who do you got?
Man, so I'm not going to pick Mickey Gall like you, but, like, I get it, bro. Like, I get your bet completely. Like, I just don't have the balls to do it, and there's a couple reasons, like, that's stopping me. Like, firstly, like you mentioned it, man, Mike Perry's a complete head case. He's spiraling. Like, it's bad, bro. Like, he's not going to have coaches in there. Like, if it gets past the first round and Mickey goes to his corners, they're telling him the adjustments he needs to make. You look on the other side, I mean, what the fuck is Mike Perry's newest girlfriend going to be telling him, bro? Like, you got this, babe. You got this. Woo. Like, I don't fucking know, man. Like if Mike Perry doesn't knock him out in the first round, like those little details, like that might make a difference. And the thing is, Mike Perry's predictable in the feet, bro. Like, I feel like Mickey Gall could kind of avoid the big shots, like with some good footwork. And like the guy can move in there. He's got a little bit of tall man's defense for sure. I hate for Mickey Gall that this is a small cage, though. I feel like in that small cage, Mike Perry's like explosiveness and just physicality, I do feel like he'll get to Mickey Gall. I feel like he'll land some big shots on him. And I am going to pick Mike Perry to win this fight via first round knockout. But I feel like if it gets out of the first round, man, I think Mickey Gall, I think he's going to be, dancing around Perry. I think eventually he might be able to get it down to the mat at one point and sub Mike Perry. Like, Mickey does have nice chokes, man. Like his BJJ for sure. I mean, it's good. So if this fight hits the mat, he can win. I definitely get your bet, Justin. I can't do it just because Mickey's so sketch on the feet and Mike Perry is just so fucking explosive, man. Like, no coach or not, the guy has fight-changing power. Fought way higher competition than Mickey Gall. So, like, it's hard. It's hard to pick Mickey here, but I wish you the best of luck, bro.
Yeah. So I think what's telling is, like, Justin, when you were doing your breakdown, you were getting defensive before we even said anything. You know what I mean? So, look, I'm not shitting on it because the line is if anything, it's wide for the, if anything, it's wide. But I mean, Mickey's not younger than this guy. Mickey's not stronger than this guy. You spoke about who Perry has beaten. He's been in there with top level fighters, monsters. Who is Gall beaten? Gall's beaten this Salim, right? His last fight, which was, I thought, pretty bad. George Sullivan, Sage Northcutt, and like CM Punk, Mike Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to play the who's he beaten game, Perry wins. Perry, like, Howboy would wreck all the guys that Gall has beaten. Perry's been in there with Jeff Neal, Vicente Luque, Donald Cerrone. I don't want to mention the Max Griffin fight for fear of Kelton banning me, but Santiago Ponzinibbio, right? Like, come on, man. Like, the Griffin's the only real, like, questionable loss in there, and he has a skill set that's totally different than Mickey's. When I watched I wasn't even going back that far, but yeah, Joban beat him. But again, Joban has a skill set that Mickey Gall doesn't have, so it's not really comparable in my opinion. And when I did the tape, like, it was just so obvious that Perry's like way stronger, way more physical. So if Gall is like trying to strike with him and get this into a clinch and drag it down, I think he's going to get knocked out from the clinch. Like, I think Perry grabs a hold of him and just starts slamming uppercuts and elbows into his face. So, but again, I'm not going to bet Perry, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of a wuss here, you know what I mean? To say I'm so confident, but like, if anything, the line is wide, but maybe not. Maybe it's accurate in my opinion. Like, I have no temptation to try to keep the bookie honest here. But, I mean, if Gall gets to the back, maybe he can wrap it up. I just don't see it, dude.
One more thing I want to say, like, with the whole who is he beat, like, yeah, Mike Perry's been in there with all those guys, but, like, Mike Perry's been taking so much damage, dude. Like, the Luque fight completely shattered his nose. Jeff Neal might have put the fucking final nail in the coffin of this guy's, like, career, dude. Like, that was because up until that point, Mike Perry was talked about one of the most durable guys in the division, had never been knocked out. I know Jeff Neal is Jeff Neal, and, like, can you imagine what the fuck Jeff Neal would do to Mickey Gall? Like, we might see the first step in the octagon and all that, but, like, damage is damage, and, like, I don't know, man. Like, career trajectories, like, if you want to look at Mickey Gall's last fight, like, Justin's right. Like, he has been showing improvements, and I'm sure he's going to keep getting better. And Mike Perry's on the complete opposite. He's spiraling. So, like, I totally get the angle of, like, career trajectories here. Mickey Gall's on the up, Mike Perry's on the down. It's just a matter of how down is Mike Perry and how much has Mickey Gall improved. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but I really hope Justin cashes this bet.
So a year ago, Diego Sanchez was out muscling and dominating Mickey Gall.
Yeah, but like Mike Perry's not a wrestler like Diego.
But Perry's but Perry's a welterweight, a full-sized like not a large welterweight, but he's muscly for the division, whereas Diego made 45, dude. You know what I'm saying?
That's a pass though, because he had kidney failures in that fight, man. I mean, you saw that fight; he fucking gassed bad after that first round. He was killing me.
Have you checked his blood work? How are his kidneys looking for this fight? You know.
I'm pretty sure they're good, bro. I mean, I'm pretty sure they established it a long time ago. Right. But come on, dude, this line's off, man. The line's off, 100%. But yeah, I mean, I'll be worried, as long as I'm on the feet in the first round. But after that first round, man, I think Perry's gonna be fucking flustered.
I wish you all the best, Justin. I really do, but I can't agree with that. Being on that side.
It is what it is. No one does. Next fight, a fight that I don't think anyone's gonna agree with me on this one. We got DP versus Hooker. I'm gonna go first again. It's a great fight. I like Dustin Poirier a lot. He's one of my favorite fighters. He follows me on Twitter. I mean, the fact that this guy follows me on Twitter, it's fucking badass. But I got Dan Hooker here, man. I think this line's off. I think I got plus 185, 2 units. I think that this is a striker versus striker matchup, and Hooker. Okay. DP definitely has a better boxing for sure, but I mean, Hooker has good hands as well. He has good weight kicks. I think the weight kicks will be a big factor here. And I just see one of those knees, dude, connecting when DP shoots. And if he gets hit with one of those knees, I don't think that chin's gonna be able to recover. I mean, he's tough, dude. His chin's, been better at 55, but when people lose their title fights, and I know it was against Khabib, but I mean, dude, he took a lot of damage in that fight. I mean, I don't know what DP's gonna show up here. He's still a good fighter, and he's still one of the best fighters in the division, but I mean, Hooker's been improving a lot. I know the Barbosa fight, was I think 2 years ago, and he got his ass beat. But He looked really good since then. And one big read in this fight is I think that, you know, DP, man, he slows down in his fights. And you watch the fight against Max. I mean, Max was taking it to him in that fourth round. Hooker slowed down a little bit against Felder, but Hooker won that fifth round against Felder. And that's what won him the fight, dude. So, and Hooker has good guillotines too, man. If DP goes out there and shoots, I mean, I think he's in trouble. I don't think DP is going to be able to control him on the mat. He does have the better wrestling, but like I mentioned, he has the better boxing for sure. But I mean, fucking Dan Hooker's so fucking like long, man, and just the way he uses his range, dude. And like I mentioned, his straight left, his jab, his weight kicks, and I mean, he's the last guy to beat Gilbert Burns too, man. So I mean, I think this is a really close fight, and it's dog or pass, and I think Hooker's gonna knock him out, dude. I really do. So I'm gonna go with Dan Hooker, man. I'm gonna go with the fucking first round KO, dude, over Dustin Poirier. Kelton, what do you got?
Yeah, man, this is another one where I can't really completely agree with you. I'm going to pick Dustin Poirier, but again, like I get the shot you're taking, man, because I do feel like Dan Hooker is an extremely dangerous guy. Dustin Poirier is a guy we've seen hurt on multiple occasions, knocked out on multiple occasions, but I mean, Dustin Poirier, I mean, he has more ways to win this fight. I do think he is the better fighter overall. I feel like he can mix in the wrestling here. I feel like he has the better boxing, but like overall striking wise, I feel like Dan Hooker has like the overall better striking game, like with the knees and the elbows. Like he's tricky, dude, and he's super dangerous. And like if you're on the Dustin Poirier side, like you're probably going to be sweating as long as the fight's on the feet. So I definitely think Dustin should go wrestle heavy in this fight specifically. And I think that is a game plan that, you know, he's done before, and I think he can do it again. So I'm going to say Dustin Poirier. I feel like the first round, maybe they'll strike a little bit, test each other out. But I feel like as soon as Poirier feels a little bit of heat, then he'll start like really going for the takedowns. And eventually I see him, I'm not going to say he breaks Dan Hooker. I just think he gets to him, just overwhelms him late. So I'm going to say Dustin Poirier via fifth round submission.
I'm with you, Justin.
Oh,
wow.
I bet Dan Hooker plus 190, boys. My take on this is like, look, I was like tempted by the line where it was sitting back in May. Like you couldn't even get Hooker at plus 150, but now he's up past 187. That to me is wide. Like this is a good scrap. You know what I mean? You're right. Poirier has the better, like quote unquote boxing. He throws better punching combinations, but Hooker's playing with the edge of the pocket. He's playing with the range. He's sniping down the pipe. He has a really sneaky check hook on the back foot that can keep Dustin honest when he's blitzing forward. And he also has the guillotine that I don't think anybody mentioned. That guillotine kept Gilbert Burns honest. So if Poirier is shooting, I think he's in trouble. And I actually think Hooker has some unassuming wrestling. I forget exactly which fight it was. I believe it might have been the Ally Quinta fight. Now, forgive me for, Al's not as good as Dustin, right? But he just showed a really good awareness and an ability to get on top in that one. And again, you got that knee up the middle. You got 3 inches of height, 3 inches of reach. He's just a year younger. They're both experienced fighters. So, yeah, I think the value's on Hooker here. I think I've said everything I wanted to say. Like, the small cage could possibly favor Poirier, but we've also seen like sometimes in the smaller cage, the taller fighter feels huge. You know what I mean? There's nowhere for Poirier to get kind of outside of the range. So I definitely see Hooker playing with the edge of the pocket and kind of baiting Poirier into to counter him. Like he might eat a strike to give one, but I would definitely give the durability edge to Hooker here. He takes crazy shots. Yeah, Barbosa beat him down, but like, look, Dustin doesn't kick like Barbosa. He doesn't have the explosiveness that Barbosa has. So I think Hooker can win this fight from the outside with the range. He can keep Dustin honest with the knee up the middle and with the guillotine on the takedown attempts. And at the very least, I see it being a very competitive, scrappy fight. So for plus 190, we're talking about less than a 35% indication. I feel comfortable with value there. Like if you're gonna lean with Poirier, I don't see leaning with him more than 60 here because again, this is gonna be a good scrap. So if anyone sees plus 187 or better out there, I would say that's a good bet to make.
Man, I wish you guys luck on that one. It's a good fight, man.
All right, so I want all of us to recap our bets, unless he doesn't want to do that. So my bets are on Dan Hooker, Mickey Gall, and Brahimaj. Kelton, you got on your bets?
Yeah, man. 4 underdog plays, all 3 units. I just need 2 out of 4 to cash. So I got 3 units on Jin Yu Frey plus 160. I got 3 units on Yusuf Zalal plus 115. 3 units of Ramiz Brahimaj plus 145. And 3 units on Felipe Lins plus 100.
Damn. Go ahead, Z.
I'm seeing some people say like Hooker was barely surviving after the second round, the Felder fight, and this and that. Felder's got some crazy hardware, guys. Like he's extremely durable, so he can push into that fire. You know what I mean? And even Hooker mentioned in that fight, he's like, after the fight, rather, he was like, I could not tell when I was hurting Felder, but we were in the hospital after, and so I know I was hurting him. You know what I mean? But I just don't think Poirier can hold up, right, Justin? Like I see Hooker chin checking him and dinging him.
The longer the fight goes, I think you got to go with Hooker, in my opinion. But
yeah,
that first round's gonna be nervous for. I'm gonna be nervous for Hooker.
Right. Yeah, I could see it. But then Hooker's fresh too, man. Hooker's like when he's fresh and fast, he's really good too. I was just gonna say with the Justin Gaethje fight, like, dude, Poirier. They're saying in the comments that Hooker doesn't wear damage very well, and that's true. Guys can accumulate damage on him, so this is going to be a scrappy fight. But in that Gaethje fight, like Poirier wasn't wearing the damage very well either. A lot of the leg kicks were getting through, damaging the leg. In the Jim Miller fight, his leg was damaged. Like Hooker is a tricky striker, and I've also seen people bring up that he hasn't fought a lot of southpaws, but this guy's training with Israel Adesanya, a champion level switch stance fighter. He spent tons of time at Tiger Muay Thai, like. Don't sleep on this guy's striking just because you've seen Barboza and perhaps Maximo Blanco 100 years ago put some damage on him. You know, like Hooker's a very intelligent striker, and he plays a different game than Poirier. Like Poirier likes to exchange with guys. He likes to be dipping his head and slipping stuff and putting punches together. But again, Hooker plays the edge of the pocket, so he's looking to draw guys in and snipe down the pipe. And I just see him really keeping Poirier honest. So anyway, I just wanted to address the chat there. Of course, if any of you guys are watching this and you like how I'm breaking down fights, go subscribe to Z's MMA. I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, the 2 bets that I have in play right now, I'll give them out for free, no problem, is I got Hooker, like I said, plus 190, and I have Zalal at even money.
I like it, man. Z, thanks for coming on. I'm sure you'll be back. You stole what I was going to say. I was going to tell the viewers to go check out your channel. Kelton, you want to say anything, man?
Yeah, man. 73 live viewers. Thank you guys so much. Like that's insane, man. Appreciate that. Hit the like button while you're here, and seriously, definitely go subscribe to Z on YouTube. He's putting out some awesome content right now. I love the show he's doing on right now. He brings on guests one at a time, which I really like. So definitely go check him out.
Yes, sir, man. Everyone go check out Z's channel. And thanks again for everybody that, comment, like, subscribe. We'll be back in 2 weeks. And, I think that this is a fun podcast, and Z will be coming back. You just have to beg a couple times. Just kidding. But, yeah, I hope you cash your bets. I hope we all cash our bets. And let's get it, man. We'll be back in 2 weeks for one of the best cards of all time. Later, guys.